Let's talk men and masculinity, and this could be triggering for some people. Just my opinions, right? And a lot of the men that I work with, these are the conversations we have. I heard a great quote. It said, "You don't earn morality by being weak. True goodness comes from strength, not from softness. A man who's incapable of violence isn't peaceful, he's just harmless. And there's no virtue in that." Sit with that. But let's continue with the quote. "The real ones, they're trained, disciplined, capable of destruction, but rooted in restraint." It's not about being a threat. It's about being formidable, a protector, a shield, a warrior with control. Because it's easy to be nice when you're powerless, but it takes everything to be powerful and then choose peace. Okay? So again, sit with that and let's unpack it a little bit. The idea, again, is it's easy to be nice when you're powerless, when you don't have the strength to say no, right? When you've never been allowed to feel anger, when every time you tried to stand up for yourself, someone told you it wasn't spiritual, or it wasn't kind, or it was toxic, overly masculine, whatever it may be. So you learn to suppress that part of you, to kind of smile through like this resentment, to make yourself small. That was me, right? Or to stay safe by being agreeable. Doesn't mean that you have to be conflictual all the time, but why are you choosing to be agreeable? But niceness, that kind of niceness to me, it isn't peace. It's fear dressed up as virtue. And psychedelics have a way of stripping that illusion bare. It has a tendency to show you the places where your body still remembers being silenced, where your nervous system learned that compliance means survival. And in that space, in the heart of that confrontation, you meet the truth, right? That part of you isn't here to please. That part that doesn't apologize for existing. That part that knows how to say no, not from anger, but from alignment. Okay. And that's what these medicines do for so many men. They reconnect you to your power, not the power that dominates or controls. So I hope that's being picked up throughout this entire conversation. It's not the power that dominates and controls, but it's the power that protects, the power that grounds, the power that stands in truth even when it shakes, the power of the protector, the power of the provider, right? Because when a man truly meets his shadow, he stops pretending to be harmless. He learns restraint, not repression. They're different. He learns peace, not passivity. Also different, right? To me, real peace arises when a man knows he can destroy, yet chooses creation. When he can see the fire in his chest and know that it's not meant to burn others, right? The recognition of that's there, but it's not to put on other people. And instead that fire is meant to light the path, right? To me, that's strength, that's integrity, and that's what it means to be a man who's done the work. So if the medicine brings you face to face with your rage, your fear, your power, don't run. That's not the part of you to silence, right? That's the part of you to reclaim. And, the world doesn't need more nice men, weak men, right? I'm not talking physical strength here. It needs men who are awake, men who are rooted, men who have faced the storm within themselves and still choose peace. There's a big difference. And again, I just want to put that message out there because a lot of the men I work with, again, I always say we don't need to, culture is kind of like demasculated men. And to me, it's more like let's de escalate, right? De escalate from some of the overly aggressive behaviors where they don't need to be. But in the heat of the battle, do you have the ability to protect those that you love, protect those around you? Or are you hiding behind the idea that I'm a pacifist? Are you a pacifist? I'm a pacifist, right? But I'm also capable of great destruction if need be. There's a difference.